Do we need to move something, or does this give you enough room to
dork out?
Yeah, to dorkify it.
Does that pick it up?
Does it sound okay?
Yeah.
You could try singing a little bit too.
My mother says that rain is angels who are crying up in heaven. Okay.
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool.
So I guess let's just start with, you introduce yourself and say, describe when you first met them or saw them or whatever.
Okay. Am I looking at you?
Yeah, actually, let me grab my soda water first, but yeah, you could look at me. Okay.
Okay. I'm Kimya Dawson, and hi. Well, I moved to Olympia to go to Evergreen in '91, and I had grown up in a small town in New York State, and it was a funny time to be sort of I was vice president of the Just Say No Club in high school. I was listening to Top 40 radio. I wasn't from a place where kids played music, and then I showed up in Olympia, and first I was sort of found this, I was at Evergreen, and there were just hippies everywhere, and I was oh, rebellion equals hippie, and I was I don't know about this, and then I started wandering downtown and being oh, Riot Girl, I don't know about this, it was just it was really polished, and I was I can't do polished, and then I sort of started just wandering into shows, and finding bands like Carp and Fitz and the Ricketts, and just sort of this just loud, just this loud, sweaty scene that I was just this tiny kid, listening to Phil Collins, and I just wandered in and was just all my all the anger and sadness inside of me, just teen stuff that had no outlet before, just was exploding, and I just remember going into these shows and just standing there totally squashed, and I'd always push my way to the front and just be getting crushed and just sweating and just being this is the best shit ever, but yeah, it was really interesting with Carp because I had totally different sort of relationships with the guys, and I just remember with Jared, I don't even know if we ever talked, I don't know, it got to the point where I was drinking a lot, I don't remember, it's all kind of a blur from sort of between 92 and 96, I guess, in Olympia. I remember some stuff, but not a whole lot. But with Jared, I remember hugging him all the time. Every time I saw him, I was remembering oh, come here, just getting these big bear hugs. But then I would always go watch just movie after movie, just being hungover in a stupor and going to the State Theater and just sneaking in, or being let in, and just being can I watch The Great Panda Adventure again? Can I watch the next Karate Kid, please? And just watching these crappy movies, but being let in and being given just so much popcorn, but just I gotta dry out my system, but just just one day Scotty was just you're my best friend, and I was you're my best friend, and I was I don't even know this guy, and I'm his best friend, that's so cool, he's so cool. And then he worked at Thekla, and I think I just pretended I worked at Thekla. I was always there on my roller skates and hanging out, and would try to work the coat check or whatever, and just finishing people's drinks for them. But I just remember standing with Scotty outside the door on the ramp, and we'd play this game where I would just slap him on the side of the head, and he would jerk his head and then do a lazy eye, in the direction that I hit him on the side of the head, and it was just, I don't know, it was just the best. He was my buddy, but but just in that way that I think he was everybody's buddy. You know, like when I talk to people after, you know, just since then, it's like, oh yeah, he was everybody's best friend. Like, it's so cool. And then Chris was my arch nemesis. Like, and I don't even know, like, where that came from. Like, he and I would just, like, walk past each other on the street and just be like, I fucking hate you. Like, we just hated each other, and I don't even know why. Like, I know that once, like, up in front of, I lived in the ski lodge house up by the Capitol, and I just remember, like, being in, like, an evening gown, and he was in a suit, and we were just, like, rolling in the street having a fist fight, and I don't even know, we just hated each other, but I think that's what made it so cool, like, watching them play, was that, like, there's, like, you know, just this big bear that I just, like, never spoke to, but loved hugging, and then, like, my best friend, you know, and then this guy I just, like, wanted to kill, you know, and it was, like, it just, like, it put all of those feelings together, you know, like the fun and the, like, just sort of like the goodness and like the angst, you know, all combined into one experience is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's really well put. I mean, that's kind of like what the music is. That's kind of what's so weird about it, I guess. Is that
Yeah.
it's just like all these like kind of.
It's like so dark and so like clowny at the same time, you know? It's so good.
It's. I think it's exciting because you almost feel like you're given carte blanche to like be evil. Because it's like so
Totally.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was so you were good friends about him or with Scott, like what was he like what was his kind of character, you know, anything in as much as you have to say about him, just like how he was or what his approach to things were.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I was just friends with him in like a very like kind of silly way, you know, like a lot of it was like just hanging out, you know, hanging out at the bar, like we used to like play video games a lot. Like we just were both super into Parappa the Rapper, you know, but we would just like we would go and we'd like play and like go crazy playing this game, and just like we learned all the songs and would sing them really really loud, and like we would just like go sit in his room and play video games, and he made an audio tape of all the songs from Parappa the Rapper, and we would just like go to his house, and I think at that time everybody thought we were making out, you know, because we would like sneak off from the bar together and like go back to the Lucky 7 house, and we were really just like sitting on his bed like listening, like singing along to like an audio tape of Parappa the Rapper. It was totally dorky, but like I don't know, I feel like my friendship with him was like my friendship with like my best friends from when I was in like 3rd grade, you know, like just running around being total goofballs.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have kind of said that about him, that it was just kind of like this injection of like just joy,
Yeah,
just happiness.
And you know, it was a and that was like, for me, it was like one of those kind of like dark, depressed times in my life when I think about it, and so it's like when I remember like, you know, the people who gave me that, you know, it was so important for me to have some friends like him who just were just so fun.
Did the brand of like joy that you experienced, the brand of joy that you kind of experienced from him, did it kind of, was it the same kind of brand of joy that you hear like write a song like alongside the evil like in the music?
Kind of, yeah, because it was just like, you know, I mean, yeah, it was like that. I mean, at least like in my mind, I mean, it's the same as like as that feeling from the music, just like dark times, like rainy days, dark times, like big desperate fun, you know. You know, it's like that's like just that sort of goofiness and kiddishness, I think, is like just what got everybody like through, you know.
So well, why don't you play a song and like
Okay, I feel like such an ass, like because of course, like as soon as I heard like, oh, Carp, like Scotty. It's like, oh right, there's this song I wrote the day that Scotty died, you know. But then I was thinking on my way over here, like one of the last times I saw Scotty, I had driven to town with a friend of mine from out of town, and this was before I started playing music, and she had a guitar with her, and we went and knocked on his door because whenever I came to town, I'd go say hi, and he like opened the door a few inches, and like he looked at me and he was like, "Hey, it's really good to see you, but I can't let you guys in." I was like, "Why not?" He's like, "No acoustic guitars allowed in the Lucky 7 house." And he like shut the door in my face, and I was like, I knocked again. I was like, "If she waits in the car, can I come in?" He was like, "Totally." And so I like made this girl wait in the car while I went in and hung out. It was pretty harsh, but and then like, you know, a couple of years later, I started playing guitar and like folky, and then when I heard he died, it just, I don't know, it totally broke my heart, and I wrote like the cheesiest, most pussy, like sad folk song ever. And he's probably like, "Kimya, no!" Like, no! Oh, but I never even like put it together until like today. I was like, oh man, he's so pissed. So pissed. It's in the movie. Oh. So, but I'll play it, but it's really sappy. But it's how I felt, so it's still how I feel. At least the guitar's out of tune. My mother says that rain is angels who are crying up in heaven. And I believe that, 'cause when sad things happen, it starts raining. It's been raining. It's been raining for a while now. It's been raining at least 40 days. And I've been crying since the first time someone I loved passed away. I'll build an ark inside my body in a bottle and disappear, 'cause my soul is drowning, missing people that I wish could still be here. But it won't stop raining, and I can't stop crying. My friends keep dying. It's been raining for a while now. It's been raining at least 40 days. And I've been crying since the first time someone I loved passed away. It's been raining for a while now. It's been raining at least 40 days. And I've been crying since the first time someone I loved passed away. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Kimya, no! How could you do this to me? How could you folk in my name?
I think he can forgive you for that.
I hope so.
Oh, it was really pretty.
Thanks.
So,
Yeah. That's kind of all I've got.
so, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything to say after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. You get to, Well, let me ask you about this though. Is that, you know, having the relationship you did with Scott and being a musician yourself, like the thing that I'm really coming to in this story or whatever, the more we interview and look at things, is that like, you know, there's the obvious story with Chris and like the things he's had to go through and or put himself through or whatever, and but then the thing with Jared, where like, you know, here he is with his like childhood friends, and they like accidentally find this thing that they can do together, and then they do it, and then they, you know, they have a major like setback to that where they have to like say goodbye to one of their friends, and then years go by, takes a break from it, and then I just can't stay away type thing, you know, and like him and Scott get back together and they do the whip and they work on this style of music again together, and then it's another like just bam, boom, you know, like, and like you know what you think, like, you know, you have to be able to say or do like within yourself to just, you know, not give up or not die or be conquered.
It's so, I don't know, it's so hard, like, because it just felt like, it's like I was roommates with Kai, and then he passed away, and that was really hard, and then you know, it's like when Kai died, my friend Luke told me about it, and then like a couple years later, like I found out that Luke died, and like just all these kids that I was friends with in Olympia, you know, and then Scotty, and then when right after, like 2 weeks after I wrote this song, one of the old guitar players of the Moldy Peaches died, and it was just like, stop, you know, it's like, fucking stop, but like, it's just, it's, for me, it's, I didn't start doing music until after I drank myself into a coma and was in the hospital. And then 2 weeks after I got out of rehab was the first Moldy Peaches show. And then, you know, from there I started playing guitar on my own, and it was sort of like, that was my, like, my recovery process was music, where for so many of my friends, like, the music had come, you know, from the sort of out of the belligerence and the partying, you know, and so then I just felt like, yeah, I mean, it's like, I was like this, just like cleaning it up, you know, like, and playing like this, like these folk songs, you know, but at the same time just trying to like maintain that, like, you know, sense of like, you know, like what Pat was saying, like that family, you know, like, because that was something that I had seen in Olympia back before I started playing music, when I was totally intimidated by how cool I thought all the kids who were playing music were, and I was like, I've always wanted to do that, but they're so awesome and I'm so not, you know, and like just never thought I could do it, you know, until it became sort of like a, well, I'm almost dead, so, you know, like, I may as well try, you know, you know, like, and so just sort of like, but I just remember being so envious of, like, that, like, sort of, not the scene to say, but, like, the community and the family that was happening with the people who were playing, and I was really glad that I got to be a part of the audience of that, you know, and even going so far as to, like, dressing up and dancing with, like, the Ricketts or whatever, like, climbing on stage in that way and just being like, I'm a part of this, you know, like, just, like, desperately wanting to be a part of that, and so just, like, as a musician, just trying to, you know, really sort of keep that, like, that, like, I'm not gonna sign to a major, you know, I'm gonna tour, I'm gonna play, like, basements, I'm gonna play community spaces, you know, it's like, and maybe I'll play some theaters too, you know, it's like, but I don't want, you know, like, I just remember that feeling back then, and I mean, I have another song where it's like, you know, how'd it go? It's like, loose lips might sink ships, but loose gooses take trips to San Francisco, double dutch disco, tech TV hottie, do it for Scotty, do it for the living, and do it for the dead. But that's, like, my anthem for, like kids, like, we're gonna just, like, we have to keep fighting and like fucking shit up, but like having fun and loving each other too, you know, and just sort of always keeping that memory and that feeling and sort of those ethics of just like we make music because we've got to, you know. It's like I know so many people who make music to like get discovered or to like be heard or to be big, and it's like I don't know, I'm just really glad that like the first people I knew who made music for like the best reasons, and I just feel like that will always, you know, be a part of me.
What do you think's the key for like you know, keeping the ethos and not falling off and not getting lost in like some distractionary thing, you know, like drinking yourself to death or like, you know, getting just really tripped up into this stuff that just ultimately isn't very good for anybody?
It's hard because I mean, I feel like for me it was just like I was so close to dead, you know. It's like coming out of a coma and having a doctor like, you were not supposed to wake up, you know, and just being like, fuck, you know, and like you know, seeing how scared all my friends were who were there, because it happened at a party, you know, like I collapsed and was like throwing up blood, you know, and my friends dragged me to the hospital and thought I was gonna die, you know, and so, you know, I sort of came out of it feeling like it was a like, do this shit again and you're dead, or like time to like figure out a new way of existing sort of thing. But at the same time, like I knew that for me it took hitting that like that bottom so hard, you know, and so it's like I don't know, like you just can't tell anybody else like how to live, you know, and you can't tell anybody else to stop, and it's like the best thing I can ever do is like tell people I love them and tell them I care about them and that I don't want them to die, and I'm fucking sick of my friends dying, you know, and it's just, it's, but what can you do, you know, it's like you can't drag people off to rehab who aren't ready to go, you know, it's like, it just, you know, they've got to want to do it for themselves, you know, be a certain way, and maybe that's not their road, you know, it's like maybe maybe their path is to just like rock hard, you know, die young, you know, like, I don't know, it sucks, you know, we get really sad and hate it when that happens, but what can you do?
Can you play us the Scotty thing you were just saying?
The other song? Yeah. You want to hear the whole song?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Loose lips might sink ships, but loose gooses take trips to San Francisco, double dutch disco, tech TV hottie. Do it for Scotty, do it for the living and do it for the dead. Do it for the monsters under your bed, do it for the teenagers and do it for your mom. Broken hearts hurt, but they make us strong, and we won't stop until somebody calls the cops, and even then start again and just pretend that nothing ever happened. We won't stop until somebody calls the cops, and even then we'll start again, just pretend that nothing ever happened. We're just dancing, we're just hugging, singing, screaming, kissing, tugging on the sleeve of how it used to be. How's it gonna be? I'll drop kick Russell Stover, move into the starting over house. No Matt Rouse and Chester watching me achieve my dreams, and we'll pray all damn day, every day, that all this shit our president has got us in will go away, while we strive to figure out a way we can survive these trying times without losing our minds. So if you wanna burn yourself, remember that I love you, and if you wanna cut yourself, remember that I love you, and if you wanna kill yourself, remember that I love you. Call me up before you're dead, we can make some plans instead. Send me an IM, I'll be your friend. Shysters live from scheme to scheme, but my fourth quarter pipe dreams are seeming more and more worth fighting for. So I'll curate some situations, make my job a big vacation, and I'll say fuck Bush and fuck this war. My war paint is Sharpie ink, and I'll show you how much my shit stinks and ask you what you think, cause your thoughts and words are powerful. They think we're disposable, well both my thumbs opposable, spelled out on a double word and triple letter score, and we won't stop until somebody calls the cops, and even then we'll start again. Just pretend that nothing ever happened. We won't stop until somebody calls the cops, and even then start again, and just pretend that nothing ever happened. We won't stop until somebody calls the cops, and even then we'll start again. Just pretend that nothing ever happened. We won't stop until somebody calls the cops, and even then we'll start again. Just pretend that nothing ever happened. We're just dancing, we're just hugging, singing, screaming, kissing, tugging on the sleeve of how it used to be.
I'm really sorry. Could you play like right up to the end of the Scotty line? Because I didn't know you were starting, and I started to jiggle the camera.
Sure. Loose lips might sink ships, but loose gooses take trips to San Francisco. Double Dutch disco, tech TV hottie. Do it for Scotty, do it for the living and do it for the dead. Do it for the monsters under your bed. Do it for the teenagers and do it for your mom. Broken hearts hurt, but they make us strong.
This is a total blown-in question, but it's not hard to remember all those lyrics.
You should ask Calvin to send you some of my CDs. I have 5 CDs that are pretty much just like that. I think it's some form of obsessive compulsive disorder, like Asperger syndrome or something. I think I'm on the autistic spectrum.
That's awesome. I just can't imagine remembering that many words.
I don't know how it happens.
When I was only ever in dumb rock bands, and I could barely ever remember those words.
When I write songs, I don't write them on paper. They just
see the words.
Yeah, they just stay there. So I think it's autism.
It's like it's like a preferable form of schizophrenia.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not crazy anymore. Instead of being thoughts in my head, I found a release for them.
That's necessary.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, any last words about Carp or Scotty or your arch nemesis?
Sorry for punching you in the face, Chris. No. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's nice. I'm sure I'll appreciate the apology.
He probably doesn't remember. I'm sure I'm not the only person who punched Chris Carp in the face.
Probably not.